Hi guys, and good morning, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. This is Pastor Zainab, and today's video I'm gonna be talking about the pain of living with an adulterous partner or spouse. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please subscribe. You can like, you can comment, you can share. But I'm here because God has sent me here to be able to be a blessing to people. And I believe this video is going to help someone who's going through whatever I went through. And I'm going to be coming with my stories every maybe day, every week, every month as the Lord leads me. But when I was just praying, I was asking the Lord, what am I going to share on this YouTube channel? And this is what God put into my heart, that I should talk about it. It is my story. And I know so many people identify with such a story. And I know that you're going to get a healing out of it. So some of you've been following me for quite some time, so you know my story, you know how I got married, and I'm just gonna repeat it kiasi, so that at least you guys can be able to walk with me in this journey, because I'm gonna be coming with my stories on and off, and I know that God allowed me to go through all this so that I can be a blessing to someone, and so that I can also show you there is power in prayer, and God is able to deliver you in whatever you are going through. Okay, now if you have not subscribed, press the subscription button, and you will be getting my videos, and a notification bell. You'll be getting my videos anytime I upload. Now, I got married at a very young age. I was only 18 years, and I had just finished school, and there was this young, good-looking guy who came to ask for my father in a hand of marriage. So my father wanted me to get married. For some reasons, I don't know, I didn't feel ready. I was not ready for marriage. I was not mature for it because I was only 18. So you can imagine you are 18 years old and someone is giving you out for marriage. And it was not easy. It was not an easy experience. I remember very well, as if it was yesterday, how my father told me, if you're not going to marry this young policeman, I am going to throw you out of my house. And he did that. He took my bags and everything and threw them out of his house, and told me, I will come back when I want to get married. Where would I have gone? I was young. I didn't know where to go. My mom and my father that time, they had separated. My mom was busy with her life. So me, I basically decided to come back and get married. And I'm not saying that that guy didn't love me. It was not like he didn't love me. But personally, I felt I was young. I felt I was not ready. I felt like it is a pushed marriage. But I just got into it. And when I got into it, this man was naive. He was young. He had come from a northeastern Kenya. So he was just recruited into Kenya police force. So he came to Nairobi and he was all over. He was a happy-go-lucky. You know, these people that are just everywhere with everyone, so excited about the city. He has just been employed. He wants to have a family, and maybe he wants a Nairobi girl. You know what I'm talking about? And he was all over. But again, he was a nice guy. I wouldn't say he was not a nice guy, because he was so responsible. He was taking care of us after I got married, and he was responsible. He could give me whatever I want. But he had this weakness, and I want to talk about this, because this is not just a weakness. It can also graduate to become a spirit. And he had this weakness of women. And I remember the first encounter to know that I was married to an adulterous spouse. I got an infection. I was young. I was barely 20. So I go to the doctor and I'm telling the doctor what I'm feeling. And the doctor tells me, you go and bring your husband. Then I'm thinking, why? Why should I go and bring my husband? And why should I go and bring my husband? And I've just come to see the doctor. I didn't even know why I should come and with my husband. So I go tell the young man, you know what? The doctor has told us we go together to the hospital. And the young man is like, for what? I said, I don't even know. But they took test on me. They didn't even tell me what was happening. But the doctor said, I should just bring you to the hospital. Then he comes to the hospital, then we are tested, and we are found with an STI. And I'm here openly because I want to save someone. So I was found with an STI. Then I'm thinking how? I was so naive to know that men can move out. I was so innocent to know. I felt when you get married, you've just gotten married, you're going to stick with one woman. I had never gotten a boyfriend before. I had never had sex with anyone before. He was my first man. And when we got married, in my mind, I thought, now that we've gotten married, we are for each other and nobody should play. Actually, playing or cheating was not even in my mind. So I got so angry and I told him, what do you mean? How did you even go and get an illness? You are going to kill us. I had a small baby. Wakili was very small. For those who have been following me on social media, you know I have only one son who's a lawyer. So he was so small. And then I thought, hey, this guy is going to kill us. And that time, AIDS was everywhere. You know, people were getting sick. They were being brought on television. There was a lot of fear. Okay, and me, I was there telling the guy, you know what, you've got to stop this. If you're not going to stop this, it is gonna harm us. It is gonna destroy us. Let me tell you people, when you realize that you're living with an adulterous spouse, speak out. Speak out. Go see people, because I got quiet. I just said, I'm going to keep it to myself and we are going to deal with it. And he spoke to me. And I remember he used to know how to really put me in my box, because I remember that time he took me out, bought for me a set of gold. Can you imagine? He bought me earrings of gold and a chain of gold. And he told me, it's going to be well. Don't go, don't cry. I'm going to change. And I just said, okay, if you will change, then we shall continue doing together. And I want you to know, we did a wedding. So our marriage was legal. My father was in it. My mom was in it. Everybody was in it. So we don't even know how I'm going even to tell them what I'm going through. And it was not easy for me to tell them what I was going through. Because again, how can you just take your husband? I was very young. How can you just go and tell your father that your husband has committed, adultery, and you guys are sick? You're just feeling like you're going to expose your family. You're going to expose your husband. You're going to expose your life. And I got quiet. And I remember he continued. So the second time is that a lady came to visit. She was from her county, so they came to visit. And this lady was just looking at me, and I was very young. So I think she was just feeling, actually my husband was also young, because after high school, he went to be recruited to be in Kenya Police. So he was also young. When I was 18, he was 21, I think. Yes, he was 21. So these ladies come to my house. I'm cooking tea, I'm making lunch for them. And one lady just decided to follow me in the kitchen. And she told me, Zainab, I am here to help you. Your husband is going to get sick. I said, why? He is somewhere, My husband used to go to a town here called Isili, where so many Somali refugees women had come. And they are so beautiful and they're so cute. And remember, he's a naive guy. He's just happy to be in the city. He wants now to do anything that he feels is right. And this lady told me, your husband goes to another lady's house, and that lady is a prostitute. And people are suspecting that that lady is sick. Please, if you can, talk to your husband to stop this kind of behavior. As much as he's a policeman or he's happy, he's gonna kill himself. And I'm telling you, it was so painful. I went back and I told him, you cannot continue living this kind of life. We are going to die. Then I could wait for documentaries on television where people are watching people that are dying of AIDS or sicknesses or, all these things, STDs, the consequences, the pain, the death. And he could actually, I remember him telling me, there is nothing like AIDS. These are just stories. People are just looking for money. And that time, AIDS had just come and people didn't even know how AIDS looks like. So I remember very well that it was not easy. I'm young, I'm naive, I'm just from school, and my father put me into this. And I want to tell you, I know most of you that are watching me, probably you are believers. I was not born again, and I knew the enemy was targeting my life. For some reason, I just knew I had a contention in my heart when I was growing up. Actually, religion, I was a religious girl. I holded into Islam like this. I was religious. So I knew God. There's something in me that feared God, reverent God. And that's why even after being born in Islam, I was able to live pure because I was a religious girl. And I didn't even know how to handle the issue. So remember, I knew Satan was just targeting me, though I didn't know which Satan, because I didn't even know which side I was at. Because when I was in high school, I could join a Christian union in the evening and pray with them. And then when people are fasting Ramadan, I'm also fasting. So I didn't even know where I was. I was trying to find myself. I was young. And I remember the third time we got an STI, I went now to my father. And I told my father, you know what? This is what my husband is doing. And there is pain ahead. There is pain ahead. He's so careless. He's so all over, and you need to talk to him for him to be able to just stop what he's doing. And he was called home, and my father spoke to him. But my father told me something. Zainab, men are like that. Men are always like that. But one day he will change. Imagine, men are always like that. And one day he will change. And I left home so devastated. One, I'm fearing to move out. I know that my life is in danger. I know anything can happen. And I want to talk to you, if you have an adulterous spouse. Please love yourself. Love your life. If this person doesn't want to change, please leave. And I'm not here to destroy your marriage. Talk and let him tell you what he wants. Because as you are staying there, akikubembeleza, you are still sitting there, you are still forgiving. One time, you will get an incurable disease and probably you will die. And nobody told me about this. I was afraid to come out of my marriage. I was afraid to face my father. My father was those tough Somali men. You couldn't even tell him anything. So I was afraid. I stayed there. I raised my son there. Wakili was getting sick on and off. I didn't know, but thank God Wakili was just getting sick because I think I was also stressed. I didn't even know how to raise a baby because my mom was not there. And I'm telling you, it was not easy. And I'm here to address someone. If you have been going through that, you are living with an adulterous spouse, please try to seek help. Go to the counselors, go to a pastor, go to people, talk to your family, because I know, when you stay there, you are going to be broken, you're going to be wounded, you will have low self-esteem, because I used to wonder, I am young, I'm a beautiful woman, what is happening to this guy? What is he looking for? And I remember one time, this I have to say, because I'm putting my life out there for people to know, and so that people can be delivered out of this thing. And I remember one time this man was making love to me, and he mentioned a name of a lady, and I was so shocked. I threw him and I was crying. I was so young, but my sister used to tell me these things when I was growing up, and I'm telling you, it was so embarrassing. I could feel low self-esteem. I thought I was not beautiful enough. I thought I was not good enough. I thought I was not a nice woman, but I knew in my heart that I'm a good woman. But I could see him the way he's just happy-go-lucky. People that just want to be everywhere with his friends. He used to come home late. I would just cry and cry and cry. It was not easy. What am I telling you? When you stay there and you stick into that marriage without help, speak to your mom, speak to your dad, speak to a counselor, speak to a pastor. Find out how you are going to come out of that marriage, or give him a break, or separate for a while, because death might be, waiting for you forward there, in front of you. And I didn't know that. I continued living with this man. He was young. He was good looking. He was a hard worker because he could make money and just bring money, and we could do things, as a family. But again, I was wounded and I was in pain. I'm telling you, the pain of living with an adulterous spouse is not easy. So time goes by, then I get my second baby, and my second baby is not getting well. My second baby is sick. My second baby is diarrhea. My second baby is not growing. My second baby is terribly sick. We go, then my husband goes to my ex-husband goes to on leave, and he decided to go to Northeastern on leave and left us because I didn't want to go because I had a sick baby. I'm now running about. I'm telling you, it was painful. I'm running about from one hospital to another. My baby is not getting well. And I remember I was sent to the National Hospital with a baby. I went there and I found mothers with very sickling babies. And when you go, and I didn't know what was happening for sure. I was not aware of what was happening, but I could see mothers crying. And I remember that I was given the worst of the news. When they tested my baby, they tested me, they told us what was happening to us. And I'm telling you, it was not easy. And I look back and say, I cannot tell someone to live with an adulterous spouse, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man. And that's why Jesus said that is one of the reasons of divorce. Even God himself in heaven hates adulterous spouse. And I'm here to tell you, if you are married, please be faithful. I'm here to tell you, if you are married, please stick to your family, because even God hates adulterers. That's why he said divorce them. divorce them. Unless they are committing adultery, divorce them. What are you looking for? What do you want in life? God has given you a woman. God has given you a man. Can't you just sit? And I know there are women who are adulterers as well. It is not only men. There are women who are married, but they cannot stick to their husband. I want to tell you, there's a time that will come. There's a time that will come, and the pain that you're looking for is going to come. And if you're living with an adulterous spouse, please pray. I know you could be loving a family. I know you could be loving your children. And I know so many people have died of AIDS. So many people have died of syphilis. So many people have died with gonorrhea. Those that discovered late because of irresponsible spouse. Spouse that don't care about their families. Spouse that don't care about their children. You know, in my lifetime, and I'm not regretting, when I got married, I had a vision. I wanted a beautiful family. I wanted to have many children as my mom. I wanted to have at least 5 children. And I was so determined. That's why I got my firstborn in 1995. 1998, I had my secondborn. I wanted to have children. I wanted to have a wonderful family because I love how many we are in our family. I love the way we meet at home with my mom. And that is what I wanted with my life. But someone just came, married me, and destroyed my vision of having a good family. Destroyed my vision of having a good man. And it was not easy. I went through a lot of pain. I went through a lot of rejection, shameful things. I was so ill. It was not easy. And when now God came through for me, and God healed me completely and restored my life, I'm telling you, I might say it was just like a little restoration, but it costed me years to be restored, years of prayer, years of seeking the face of the Lord. I didn't even know how until I knew how now to declare the word of God over my life, to repent and just begin now eating the word of God like food, and just declaring, doing scriptures every day, like you're in a therapeutic, somewhere that you're just doing scriptures and believing God. And when I began believing God, when I gave my life to Jesus, when I was giving actually my life to Jesus, I was giving my life to Jesus so that I can die and go to heaven. Somehow I knew that there is a heaven. I didn't want to go to hell. I said, I've lost it. I've lost a marriage. I've lost a husband. I lost my second baby. I am sick. I have lost my health. So I was like, even if I die, let me just get born again and go to heaven. I was not getting born again to live. But when the presence of God began moving with me, and I realized God is so real than I thought, I began now telling God to give me life so that I can take care of Wakili and take care of me. I want to thank God because Wakili did not go through what we went through. And now my first husband died. My second baby died. Now I'm here. I'm sickling. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Let me tell you, don't live with someone who can kill you. As someone who's irresponsible. Someone who doesn't care about your life. Someone who doesn't care about your family. Someone who doesn't care about you guys. And I'm telling you, I don't like, when you got married, you knew what you wanted. Stay with your spouse. And I'm telling you, there are women that are going through pain right now. There are men as well that are going through pain because they met adulterous spouse. And I'm telling you, the Bible has scriptures of adulterous people and the consequences of adultery. And I'm praying for you today in the name of Jesus. If you are living with a spouse who's an adulterer, seek the face of the Lord. Seek a counselor before it is too late. My life crumbled down on my face. I'm telling you, I saw my life crumbling down like a building. I didn't know how to pull myself up again. I didn't know how to raise up again. I didn't know how to raise my son again. I did not even know how to gather myself. But look at Jesus. When I gave my life to Jesus and I believed in him and I decided from today I'm going to follow Jesus and I'm going to love Jesus and I'm going to believe in his word. I began doing the word. The Lord healed me completely. And he restored me. And he gave me another chance to get married again. But I'm telling you, it was not an easy journey. I wouldn't want anyone to go through it. Because I know of friends that went through it, but they didn't survive it. So I wouldn't want anyone to go through it. When you are dating someone and you find out it's like they're cheating on you, Please, cheaters will always be cheaters. If your man is cheating on you or a woman is cheating on you, when God begins to reveal to you the red flags, and you can see, actually, some people, it's not even the red flags. God even show you a red duvet, but you just want to move on with this guy. You want to move in with this woman, and you know she is not content. She is still in need of other men or other women, but you still want to be there. Please, I want to beg you, if you see a sign in a person's life that this person is a cheater, an adulterer, please don't move in with that guy. Don't move in with this woman. They will not become better. Because I realize life is about choices. If someone has chosen to be a drunkard, you can't help them. If someone has chosen to be, an adulterer, you can't help them. If someone has chosen to kill their family, you cannot help them. They are these careless people who don't even care about the little children they have sired, the young family that they have. They are just selfish, doing whatever they want and coming back home to this family and bring sufferings to this family. So I'm here to encourage you. If you are, you know that maybe you are dating someone and this someone has those signs, please leave. Run by your 2 feet. Actually, even Jesus said we should flee from adultery and fornication. It is a sin that God hates. It is a sin that God cannot stand. And that's why he said when someone decides to go out and take another woman and take another man, they are worth to be left. And I'm talking this with all humility. If your husband wants to change, please have him back. It could have been a temptation. If your spouse, if your fiancé wants to change, please take them back. It could have been a temptation. But if it is a habit that has grown to be a character, please run with your 2 feet, because it is not gonna be easy for you. It is not gonna be easy for you. It was not easy for me. Today you see me, you admire me. I look beautiful. I look happy. I'm okay. I love Jesus. I'm serving him with everything in me. It is because of where he took me from. I know if the Lord was not on my side, if he never came to rescue me, if he never came to heal me, if he never came to deliver me, I could be dead now. You could be knowing me. And that's why I'm here talking about the pain of living with an adulterous spouse or an adulterous fiancé or an adulterous woman. It is not easy, children of God. I am here to talk to you because I have been there. I know the pain of treating STIs. I know the pain of seeing your husband coming late, almost morning. I know the pain of crying because women are telling you your husband is gonna die. Your husband is gonna bring sickness to you. You don't know what to do. You love family. You love children. You love your husband. But you can't love that man or that woman and lose your soul and lose your life and die and be buried. You can't do that. You've got to love your life. You've got to embrace your life. And you've got to know that you have a life to live that God gave you. Don't allow anybody to kill you. Don't allow anybody to waste your life. If they don't want to change, please leave. Live with your children and God is going to take care of you. If they want to change, welcome them back and put an eye on them. And I want to say this with all humility. Some adultery is just a spirit. There are people who are struggling with that adultery. They really want to come out of adultery. They don't want to be attracted to other men or attracted to other women. They just find themselves falling. And you know what? If you realize that your spouse is just those kind of people, that for sure when you see them in your knowing, you know that my husband wants to stop this habit. My wife wants to stop this habit. Please take them for prayer. Because also a demonic spirit called adultery can come and destroy your marriage, can come and destroy your children and your family. So kindly, if you're living with someone who is in adultery, I pray for you today that God is going to open your eyes.